Good day, everyone. We're the second group, and we're going to discuss the Del Castillo versus Naguiat case. We'll be using a PowerPoint presentation to aid our report. To start, we will introduce the parties involved. First, Fidela Del Castillo, VDA de Mistica, the petitioner. The spouses, Bernardino Naguiat and Maria Paulina Chorona Naguiat, who are the respondents. Eulalio Mistica owns a land that was leased to Bernardino Naguiat in 1970. Mistica and Naguiat made a contract to sell on April 5, 1979 that was entitled Kasulatan sa Pagbibilihan. The Kasulatan sa Pagbibilihan states that the owner of the land and the buyer had an agreement on the 200 square meters of land that the buyer should pay within 10 years. If the buyer fails to do so, he or she should pay 12% interest in the following years. It is stated that the 200 square meters of land in Malhacan, May Kawayan, Bulacan will be sold to Naguiat for 20,000 pesos. In the agreement, it is required to make a 2,000 pesos down payment and the remaining balance must be paid within 10 years. If the payment is not made in the duration of 10 years, there will be a 12% annual interest.
Bernardino Naguiat made another partial payment of 1,000 pesos on February 7, 1980, and he was unable to pay the remaining balance afterwards. Eulalio Mistica eventually died sometime in October 1986. On December 4, 1991, the petitioner filed a complaint for rescission on the grounds of failure and refusal of the respondent to pay his remaining balance constitutes a violation on their contract and entitles her to receive the same. With that said, respondent must vacate and surrender said possession and must pay a monthly rental of 200 pesos. Respondent must pay the petitioner 20,000 for litigation expenses and attorney's fee.
However, the answer of the respondent states that there is no violation or breach on the contract, for it provides that if respondent will not be able to settle his debt within a 10-year period, he is still allowed to pay further with 12% annual interest. The respondents claim that they offered to fully settle their balance during the wake of late Eulalio Mistica, but Del Castillo refused. If only the family agreed on Naguiat's offer of settlement, there won't be any allegations of breach or violations on said contract or legal delay, specifically more accipiendi. The respondent is also protected by the free patent title virtue awarded by the Bureau of Lands, meaning his ownership is irreversible. They also want 50,000 pesos of payment for moral damages, 30,000 for exemplary damages, and 10,000 for legal fees.
Moreover, on July 8, 1992, the respondents filed a motion to dismiss the complaint of the petitioner. It was denied by the court on July 29, 1992. They also filed a motion of reconsideration, which was also denied by the court on March 17, 1993. They later presented evidences in the court, and on January 27, 1995, a judgment has been rendered, and they are as follows. The complaint of Del Castillo was dismissed, and Del Castillo was ordered to pay the respondents 10,000 of attorney's fee and cost of suit. And for the respondents, they must pay the remaining 17,000 pesos balance with 12% interest per annum computed from April 5, 1989 until full payment was made. And the respondents must also return the extra 58 square meter to the petitioner.
Subsequently, the Court of Appeals stand with the following decision: disallowing rescission for there is no clear breach or violation of contract. If only the family of Eulalio Mistica accepted Naguiat's full settlement during the funeral, there will be no petition. The extra 58 square meters must remain with the respondent, for its reconveyance is no longer possible, for it is the part of the title given to them. Rescission of the title would be unfair for the respondent, for their names were already transferred. The only proper course to take is to simply order the respondent to pay the said balance with 12% annual interest as per their agreement.
So the decision of the court states that if the respondents fail to pay the purchase price in full within the amount of time given, it does not necessarily mean that the seller has the right to rescind the contract because in a contract, the only way to remedy an unpaid seller is by specific performance or rescission. But according to Article 1191, rescission is only allowed if one of the respondents should not comply with what is required of him. She also said that the payment of interest did not extend the period of pay, which means the contract shall be void according to Article 1182 of the Civil Code. The court opposed the claim of Del Castillo because the exchange between Eulalia Mistica and the respondents as confirmed by the kasulatan was clearly a contract of sale. In the present case, failure of the respondents to pay the remaining balance is not a substantial breach. It is stated in the kasulatan that payment can still be made even after 10 years, provided that they pay the remaining balance with an additional 12% interest. Thus, the court has no other choice but to respect what was agreed upon by both parties. The court already made a decision. It is settled and will not be any more overruled because the petitioner did not give enough evidence to depart the court of its ruling.
Furthermore, rescission isn't allowed since the title has already been transferred to Bernardino Naguiat and it would be unfair for them. The court also clarified that the issuance of a certificate of title doesn't automatically mean that the petitioner has a right for rescission because the title serves merely as evidence of a property that couldn't be made invalid in favor of the person whose name appears on the title. Also, the title of the property could not be used to secure the debt. The remedy could only be in direct proceedings in accordance with the law.
Eventually, the court agreed that Naguiat needs to pay for the market value of the extra 58 square meters of land to Del Castillo. However, it was then changed since according to Section 48 of Presidential Decree 1529 that they don't have to pay for the market value of the extra land since it is illegal to cancel the patent of title of ownership of the land because it would only create a clash or collateral attack that they had agreed on, that the contract that they had agreed on. Hence, both the returning of the extra 58 square meters of land and the payment of the market value is then nulled or deleted.
To summarize, there would have been a legal delay if Del Castillo accepted Naguiat's offer to pay the remaining balance during the funeral of his deceased husband, Eulalio Mistica. It has resulted in mare accipiendi wherein it is the creditor's delay that caused the failure to fulfill. The transaction made by Eulalio Mistica and the respondents was clear and evident of the contract of sale as it was presented in the form of kasulatan. The petitioner should perform the order given by the court to fulfill their part. In the end, the two parties were able to settle by the respondent's fulfillment of the payment to the petitioner concerning the 12% interest. Thank you.